Hi again, friends, and welcome to our latest edition of Keeping Up with the Jackrabbits. I'm Tyler Merriam, and it is time to talk with the head wrestling coach here at South Dakota State. Joining us, Damian Hahn. Coach, a good day to you, and how are things?
Things are going as good as they possibly can be right now, Tyler. It's a crazy time we're living in.
Tell us all the members of the family.
Well, it's me and my wife Terry, and we got two little boys, Miles and Luca. Miles is 8 now, and Luca's 5. Uh, I say little, but Miles he's big. He's for an 8-year-old. He looks like he's like 13. He's almost up to my shoulders, and he's weighing like 90 pounds. So people mistake him for being older, and it's kind of funny when we get talking about him. So, but it's a crazy house with two boys that are cooped up and try to keep them entertained. Like you said before, I mean, we are the teachers, the principal, the one room's the detention office, and so yeah, it's crazy right now. Just trying to keep everybody, moving forward and positive.
Tell me, because I'm always fascinated by those who have reached the pinnacles of their respective sports. What is it like to be a champion?
That's a good question. I mean, for for a lot of us, in that's involved with wrestling, there's multiple levels, I guess you can say, and some, everyone stops at some point, and my ultimate goal, as a kid growing up, I remember watching John Smith win his first Olympic gold medal, and that was in '88, and I remember sitting with my dad on the bed, and I said, "Dad, that's going to be me someday." So that was my ultimate goal, and it never happened. The best I ever did was in '08. I was the alternate. I was an Olympic alternate, and so I never reached my ultimate goal. But I did have success along the way, and I think I had a pretty good career. At the University of Minnesota, and I'm happy. I'm happy with that. It doesn't matter what sport you're in. There's a lot that whether it be, call it pressure, or expectation you put on yourself. You really need to be, in some way selfish when you're in and you're training and you're going through all this, because really in wrestling you're the only one out there. You can't blame it on anybody else if you don't perform. So it's unique in some sense, and I was fortunate enough to really have great mentors around me my entire life, really, and people that really invested a lot of time and effort into me as an athlete, a student athlete, and a person, that I was able to foster that and really get some success out of this sport. And you've heard me say it, Tyler. And everybody's biased, but I think wrestling, the sport that we do, is, for me, the hardest sport in the world. I really believe that. And, just with most sports, I mean, the lessons that you learn through that, I mean, you will carry them for the rest of your life. And, this sport has been so good to me on so many levels that, I've had my success, and, my time's done. It's not about me, it's about these kids, and, the wrestlers that we have involved with our program, and the future Jackrabbits that we have coming in, and we devote all our time and energy to make them champions. So it's kind of like the circle of life, you could say, and really giving back to these kids as much, physically and mentally, emotionally as possible, to help them reach their goals. So you know, yeah, the question, what is it like to be a champion? I still feel like I'm working toward that, because personally, I'm not done yet, because we have 30 plus guys on our team. And when they become champions, then, hey, man, when every one of them becomes a national champion, I reached my goal. So it's about, creating an atmosphere for them, really a recipe, for success, a culture of success. And, it's a daily grind and ongoing process. And I don't think we're ever finished.
I do think it's fascinating, though. You are a four-time All-American, two-time national champion, and your first comment when I asked you about that was not about all the things you had accomplished, but the one thing that you said you were going to do that you didn't quite reach and came oh so close to. That's the first thing you went to. Not all the success, but that you didn't quite make it to that stage as an Olympian.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all. I mean, there's very few people in sport that never falter, that never have a hiccup or a bad day. We all go through it, and I think when we can sit back and reflect on the path that you take, and the outcomes, the successes and failures. I mean, really, it kind of it speaks more for me, and I've learned so much in some of my losses that help me be who I am, today. And I really value my journey, I guess you could say, that has gotten me to this point, because it's like parenting, right? I was raised by two loving parents, and how they raised me. I agree with a lot of it. I disagree with some of it, and now I have my kids, and we pull bits and pieces from that, and how we raise our kids. It's the same thing with my training and how I train these guys, and what I learned going through the process. And it's really trying to help them not make, I guess you could say, the same mistakes that I made, and getting them and helping them reach their full potential. So yeah, man, it's a unique situation, and I'm okay with the fact that I have lost. I have taken some losses that will stay with me and drive me for the rest of my life. It's we're human beings, and this is all part of the process.
It's been over a month since we entered this life of quarantine, if you will, and during this time, we're all trying to find things to keep ourselves sane, keep ourselves out there, or just activities to do with our kids, do with our family. What was this past weekend like for you?
It was good. So my eldest Miles, he's 8, and we were able to get a mentor's tag, because it's turkey season right now, and just getting them out of the house, and out, whether it be in the field, or heck, just riding the bike around the block, just keeping them active has been probably the biggest challenge of all. And so had an opportunity this weekend to take him out to the Black Hills, and we had a turkey tag, and he's never, I mean, he's gone pheasant hunting, and he's walked, and this was his first opportunity to see if he can get a turkey, and he did. So it was the smile on his face, the time I spent with him over the weekend. It's something that I know I'll cherish and remember, and I know he will when he looks back, when he's 10, 15, 20 years down the road, and it'll be special. So I think it was a huge deal, not only for him, but for myself. As coaches, and I think every coach can really appreciate this. I mean, we're gone a lot, and whether it be recruiting, competitions, gone on the weekends, during the week, so the people that get kind of neglected a lot is your family, and my wife, Terry, she's ungodly supportive in what we do, my career, my role. My kids, they don't know any better, so they kind of, they roll with the punches. And when we get the opportunity to kind of just step back and do some of these things with them, it's big. It really is. So this weekend was awesome. Something I'll remember for the rest of my life, and it was a good time.
Damian, always appreciate the time, appreciate the viewpoints that you have. It's good to catch up, and look forward to seeing you in the very near future.
Absolutely, Tyler. It's always a pleasure, man. Looking forward to seeing you soon.
Damian Hahn, the wrestling coach here at SDSU. I am Tyler Merriam. Thank you for joining us. This has been Keeping Up with the Jackrabbits.